ACIM Insights Lesson 124. Let me remember I am one with God. As I did today's exercise, it was interesting to observe the ways my resistance played out. As I focused on the idea that I am one with God, I began to experience a hint, like being on the fringes of what it would feel like being one with God. It felt very calm, free from doubt, and above all, loving. It was like being in love, without limiting that love to one special person. It was very safe. I would experience that hint of that feeling, and then I would realize that my thoughts had wandered off to something in my physical world experience. It was amazing the trivial things that would get my attention, and I would follow the thought rather than stay with that calm, peaceful, certain, strong, and loving feeling that I was experiencing with remembering I am one with God. Things like thinking about a movie or television show I had seen, or thinking of something I needed to do or was planning for some time in the future. By the time I realized where my thoughts were, I was well into the identification with the world once again. So I would bring myself back and focus once more on remembering I am one with God. Again, I would begin to sense a hint of what it would feel like to remember this, and I would discover again that my mind had followed some meaningless thread of images associated with this world. I kept bringing myself back, repeating the cycle several times. I see that the ego is quickly bored by peace and unity and freedom from conflict. I see that my habitual pattern is to be preoccupied with the world and all its images. This is not something to feel guilty about, but it is certainly clear that much practice is needed in another way of being and thinking. When I think of the dedication to practice that a professional musician or athlete has, and think about what my life would be like if I maintained that level of dedication throughout my day to remembering I am one with God, my life experience would change profoundly. I am grateful for the exercises in the workbook that provide the means for me to move in this direction. My dedication to applying the principles from the Course in my life is stronger than ever, yet there is plenty of room for more, so I will keep practicing. I have tasted the certainty, the peace, the happiness, and love that is waiting for my acceptance. I am willing to keep practicing to open my mind further towards full acceptance of God's gifts. In gratitude, I will remember I am one with God along with all my brothers. This lesson guides me to open my mind to love's presence. This lesson guides me to practice letting my true identity, love's presence, come to the forefront of my mind. This allows me to feel the peace of God. It allows me to be aware of what is truly meaningful, of what is real behind the false masks of this world. When I am willing to look with the Holy Spirit, God is always there in every person, in every situation, waiting to be recognized. I am seeing how important this lesson is in my practice of remembering the truth. When I really think about it, what could be more important than this? God is always in my mind because I am one with God. God's voice is always there to guide me as I am willing to open to its loving presence. As I gradually let the Holy Spirit take over writing the script of my life, I notice that things get easier, smoother, more relaxed. My life becomes more simplified, and I find myself less inclined to get involved with meaningless pursuits that take time away from opening to God and listening to His voice. As the Holy Spirit is allowed to take over more and more, distractions from what is truly important take less and less of my time. I want more and more to be aware of God's peace and extend God's peace in this world. It becomes a higher priority to let the Holy Spirit make all my decisions. A feeling of gentleness and well-being gradually takes over and becomes more consistent in my state of mind. I am more and more willing to be quiet and listen for the Holy Spirit's inspiration. The ego thoughts seem less and less attractive, its detours seen more clearly for what they are. I see that today's lesson is at the core of all awakening to a reality. The whole sonship is one with God. The world of separation is meaningless. Do I want love or another lesson in love? Do I want peace or conflict? Each day I am making my choices with every thought I continue to hold in my mind. Today's lesson is a practice of opening me further and further into the recognition that I am one with God. God is always in my mind, waiting for my return. Giving time to God is the most important thing I could do. What a happy thing to practice, remembering I am one with God all through the day. How fortunate we all are to have this wonderful help on our journey of return to the truth.